Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome to Daryeelkitchen, delicious food made simple. In today's recipe I'm going to be sharing with you how to make these delicious buns which are easy to make with simple ingredients that you can find in your kitchen. I'm going to demonstrate with you how I mix the dough as well as how we shape them and bake them as well. Okay, so now what we need is some of the flour. I'm going to use mixture of whole wheat and just white flour as well. You need some water, yeast, sugar, milk that's a little bit warm, some butter that is unsalted. You also need some pinch of salt, 1 egg. After that, get your milk, and then what we're going to do is mix the milk with the yeast and sugar. And this method is simply how we activate dry yeast. So by doing this, you add the yeast in there, add some sugar, a couple of teaspoons, and then mix everything together, and then we'll set this aside for about 5 to 7 minutes, and you can see what will happen afterwards. As you can see, our yeast is all activated now and is ready to be used. Now tip all the flour into your mixing bowl. Add the unsalted butter, the sugar, the salt, and now rub the mixture with your fingertips. It will resemble like a sandy texture, and just try and do this. This will be great to do with your little ones. Just make sure their hands are washed. Once you've done this and it resembles like a sandy texture, we're going to add our 1 egg in here, as well as adding our yeast mixture. What I do is try and make a little bit of a well in the middle, add the egg, and then mix put the rest of your yeast mixture in there. Add some water slowly. Remember, if you need to add a little bit more flour, go ahead and do that, and if it needs a bit more water, you can still do that. It's a little bit messy. If you prefer, you can use a KitchenAid for this method of mixing the dough, but I always believe using your hands is the best trick. You will know how the dough feels, and also if you want to learn how whether the dough is a bit hard, it needs a bit more water, this way is using your hands is the best way. And also it's best to really try and use less machines. This can be a therapeutic, and you could do this on a lovely weekend with your little ones, and it's just more fun. But that option is available as well. Now once I've mixed the dough, I'm going to apply a little bit of oil on top, and the reason we do this is just to make sure that whilst the dough is proving that it doesn't develop a dry crust. And once you've done that and you've applied the oil, cover your bowl with cling film and set aside for at least an hour, up to an hour and a half, or until it doubled in size. You can place this bowl in a microwave without being on, or just somewhere warm in your room. As you can see, the dough has proved and it's more than double in size. And then now we're going to start shaping our buns. So next, take the cling film off, and then you're going to tip the butter into your kitchen counter. Once you've done that, I'm going to show you guys already the bubbles that are appearing on there. And this is why it's really important to mix your dough really well at the beginning. Let it mix well for at least, good few minutes, and then you'll see the result. So now shape the dough into a little log, and then once you've done that, you're going to cut these into little pieces. Today actually I'm going to measure these just to make sure we have a precise size for each bun, and the size that we need is about 65 grams. And this will just allow that the buns bake really well, and they all bake at the same time. If you have different sizes, one big, one small, once you bake them together, one will be ready, the other is not ready. And then next, what we're going to do is shape these buns into little balls. And you can see what I'm doing. Just try and shape them really nice, and take your time. You will master the skill slowly. And also remember guys, we are not machines, so if it's not perfect, do not worry. Just try and make little balls. If you're happy with it, that's all it matters. As long as they are the same size, they will bake, and at the end of the day, who cares how they look like, as long they look perfect and they're edible. So try not be hard on yourself. And once I mix the dough, you can see like it took a couple of minutes. This stage, you know, you will learn things and you will master. If this is the first time you're making bread buns, take your time and, you know, enjoy this moment, and before you know it, you'll become great at it and it will get easier. So don't pressure yourselves a lot. I do get a lot of messages where people say I give up on baking. I always tell them, don't give up. If you give up, that's it, it's too late. So don't give up, try and enjoy things, and if you enjoy, that's when you learn the most. And try and encourage your little ones to, you know, come and join you at this stage, and, you know, encourage them to bake as well. You can see now we've made all our little bowls. I'm going to cover these with cling film if I was gonna let them if I was going to bake them like this, but now I'm gonna shape these actually into a little knots, and you can see what I'm doing. Just try and make a little log, small one, and then just twist, and that's how it turns out. And if you cannot do this, don't worry, do what you can and then slowly watch the video and you will master this, I promise you. So we're gonna carry on making these little knots, and this one, you know, you can bake these buns the way they are, just the little balls if you prefer. You can make different shapes, give the little buns to your kids and see what they can do with. So I've decided to do in this video 3 different shapes. So we're doing these knots and also little swirls, and the rest we're gonna leave it as it is and bake them like that. So, you know, you can do whatever you like, and this is baking at home, and this is why it's really important to know that you do what you like and do whatever shape. And, you know, this is just my version of simple buns, and I'd love to see your version as well. And next we're gonna make the little swirls, and you can see the swirls are really easy. I just start from the beginning and just go around all the way, and just like so. So we are almost there, and you might think this is a long process, but trust me, you mix the dough, set aside, come back to it, shape, put it aside, and then set aside again, and that's it. So it doesn't look like the way when you watch a video you think, gosh, this is very long, but I promise you it's very easy. For most of the part I wasn't doing anything. And now we're gonna do the last swirl, and then we're gonna start transferring our shapes, little shapes, into a baking tray. And for the baking tray, what I tend to do is apply some butter and line with baking sheet, or you can just line with baking sheet and then that's it. You can see how beautiful our buns are looking already, and we're going to prove these little ones for like about another 30 to 40 minutes, or until it's doubled a little bit in size for each bun. Transfer everything into a baking tray, and then we're going to cover this with cling film and then set aside. Buns are now ready for the oven, and you can see already it's gone a little bit bigger, and this took about 30 minutes. So next what we're going to do is apply a little egg wash. If you don't have eggs, you can use a milk as well, And what we're going to do is just to brush the buns with a little bit of either milk, water, or egg. Today I'm going to use an egg. It just gives that little golden color on the top of the buns. And you can do this with any method. So you've got 3 options, either water, egg, or milk. So if I don't have an egg, I will be using milk. So you can see this. I'm just going to mix my 1 egg yolk and then just brush the buns like that. So for example, a lot of the questions I get is like, do I have to brush the buns with egg or the water mixture? I always say it's really important, because otherwise if you don't do the milk wash or the egg wash, what will happen is your buns will come out of the oven looking quite pale. They won't have that golden color. So, and this is the reason we do that. So if any bakes that you do, doing this is really important. So guys, after the egg wash, just make sure your oven is preheated so it's nice and hot and ready to bake. What I have done is I've scattered some sesame seeds and some pumpkin seeds that I had in the house, and I've made a couple of slits on some of the buns, and this is just to add more creativity and different design. So these buns will be baking in the oven for at least 18 to 20 minutes at 180 degrees. And then once they come out, you can see the nice and golden color. Best way to know if they are ready is by tapping the top, and you can hear like a hollow sound, as well as they feel very light. And here are our lovely buns. They are all ready. You can serve these with anything you like, either with soups, alongside have it as a sandwich, or school dinners. Is, you know, you've got so many choices, and it's really easy to make, and I'm sure it's something that you would enjoy. We definitely enjoy in our household. I'd like to say thank you guys, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this recipe, and make sure you share this with your friends and family, and let me know what you guys think and what other recipes you like to see. Thank you again guys, and don't forget to subscribe, like and comment.